Hello, my name is Christina Childs, and I have the honor of telling you about cute little New Zealand robins who are able to not only count, but they are able to tell the difference between that of two different kinds of worms and when they were or were not ultimately supposed to be getting a certain amount of one or the other. These little guys are able to lift over leaves on the forest floor in order to find food. That's their common searching behavior, and thus the utilization of a food box with a leather flap is easy money for these scavenger birds. Showing an even cooler fact is that not a single robin within the study was trained whatsoever. Now, within Experiment 1, the scientists are following the study design of two categories for when the robins are correct in their expectation of how many worms they will be receiving, while in the other category, they will be incorrect of how many worms they believe are within the food box itself. Both of these categories will have 4 different conditions, allowing the robins to have a fair number of trials to show off their intelligence skills. This will lead them to search longer, peck at the food box for a certain amount of times when their expectations are not met. Basically, this is what the scientists are focusing on, is their searching time and their pecking time frame. Within Experiment 1, the scientists took a log and a petri dish was placed within it, where they then covered it with the leather flap. The petri dish obviously is where the worms were placed. They would do so out of the robin's sight, then offer the robins, and then observe how long they searched when their expectations weren't being met and how many times the robin might peck near or at the food box in hopes of more worms. In doing so, the scientists were able to prove once again how another avian species is in fact able to add and subtract, and when they are disappointed, they end up frustrated and searching longer and pecking more when they didn't get what they want. They actually get quite agitated. This graph simply shows basically how the birds reacted to these two categories of 4 different trials in the addition and subtraction of worms being manipulated by the scientists. But now within Experiment 2, the study design is the exact same as the first experiment, as there were 4 trials of the expected category, and then there were 4 trials of the unexpected category. The only difference is that now the little robins were being tested on item category in order to try and tell if these little guys are in fact able to tell when they are supposed to receive or obtain a certain amount of prey versus the other. Within Experiment 2, the scientists continued to utilize the orange mealworms from before, but now they were utilizing the New Zealand robin's other favorite worm, which is the green, which is the waxworm. Once again, these amazing little robins are able to tell the difference when they are and are not going to receive and or obtain a certain type of prey in comparison to another. This graph then shows the difference between the item counting first experiment and the item category portion of this experiment, and how the robin searching time and or numbered items of pecking were involved with when their expectations were or were not met. Therefore, the scientists were able to prove that even this small little robin is able to, in fact, behaviorally react to a simple searching experiment, which then further entails how they are actually able to add and subtract and know the difference between the right worms and the wrong worms. Providing a large portion of avian intelligence to be very true and highly prevalent. Basically, here's a little representation of what the cute little New Zealand robin actually looks like. And yeah.